Oh, the Demon King Belial. I have lived with him for almost 2.5 years now. Actually, it's a little over 2.5 years. He came into my life at a time when it was chaotic, to say at least. I have a pretty rough background. My life path is number 9, so I'm the natural shaman. And I've lived this to the fullest, you can say. You know, the path where life gets so rough that you just implode to explode into spirituality. I have a traumatic background with all of the narcissism and codependence. I'm what you could say a codependent, but the codependent is also always a narcissist. So I was as much as a narcissist as I have been a codependent, because I have worked out all my issues with the narcissism and everything. I went into myself and I dismantled my ego and everything. But anyway, so 2.5 years now I have been with the Demon King Belial. I was addicted to opiates when I started searching for him. I had gone through a very difficult time with a lot of pain, arthritis, and an abusive. I had been living in an abusive relationship with the father of my children. He was very narcissistic, abusive, and we had 2 children, and I suffered arthritis at the same time. And as with the narcissistic man, you know, you're all alone. So I was all alone with taking care of my children, and I had a severe how do you say it, relapse in my arthritic disease. I have arthritis in my spinal cord, so it was a very difficult time after I had my youngest boy. He was it became pretty severe. I couldn't move. I had so much inflammation in my spine and my hips and in my joints, in my muscle, in deep muscle tissue, like in my elbows and my shoulders and my neck, you know. But anyway, and so it was around 2013, and I had a really difficult time after my pregnancy. It started about a year after my youngest was born. And I had to get a diagnosis and start treatment with anti-inflammatory medications and you know, painkillers, because there's a lot of pain involved, and you have children to take care of, you know, small children. And so yeah, it started there, and also I'm an old addict, so I don't shy away from drugs particularly much. I'm losing my thread now, but anyway, it has been a long journey, really long journey. So yeah, but a lot of pain and a difficult relationship. I did not know this about my man when we decided to have a child. We had been in love for like 6 months, and now I got pregnant, and so we decided to have a child, and that kind of went haywire immediately, because he did not take responsibility. He couldn't care for the child. He couldn't care for me. He was just violent, and you know the drill. And then with the addiction and all, I had to start taking I had been clean for like 4 years, but then after my first pregnancy, I had to start taking laxatives because, benzodiazepines, because the situation was too rough. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't sleep. The pain was so severe. I had the arthritis started to blossom up, after my first pregnancy already. In my first pregnancy, so I had to numb the pain and try to get some sleep. My first child, he had also what do you call it in English? Problems with the stomach, severe problems with the stomach. So he just screamed and screamed and screamed every night. I had to carry him around, and his father wouldn't. I couldn't count on him, so I was all alone in this, and so I started taking drugs again already there. But then I tried to stay clean, and I struggled, and I managed to get an education and get a job and everything, and I tried to stay over the surface, but that's it was difficult. And then we had another child. And about a year after that pregnancy, the arthritis started blossoming up so badly that I couldn't continue breastfeeding him, and so I had to let go of him before I wanted to, and start medicating after I had gotten a diagnosis for my arthritis, and it was difficult. And then the children's father started getting more violent, and the things it just blew out of proportions. And then I had to leave the home, so I moved into my mother's apartment, and shit just started getting worse. Pain from leaving your children with an abusive father, and then I got fucking viral infection in my brain. I see it's so much. It's so much. It kind of gets funny, and I mean the pressure, it's just immense, trying to get through all of this with all the pain and all the shit just piles up, sometimes. So I got a meningitis, a viral infection in my brain, and shit, it was traumatic. while right in the middle of this crisis with my husband and or the children's father, and I just left, you know, and all the pain from leaving your children and everything, and then this fucking viral infection, freaking painful, meningitis, severe pain upon pain, because I was already in a lot of pain, and trying to get through all of that, you know, I needed pain relief, you know, so I started taking more drugs, more pain relief, opiates, and whatever I could come across, because it's so hard to get prescribed, you know, painkillers, so you have to fix it on the streets, and you search on the streets, you just get the worst things you can imagine, you know, heroin and buprenorphine, it's called here in Sweden, I don't know what you call it, but as you know, if you start taking opiates, you know, you're gonna struggle to try to get off at some point, and you try to get off and on and off and on, and sooner than you know, you just can't get off. It's too painful, so you can't live. You have children to take care of, responsibilities to take care of, trying to manage your life, and you can't do it without the opiates. So you just have to continue taking them. You have to continue taking them, and yeah. So it got so severe that I couldn't stop. You know, you only have limited amount of tries with that drug. For every time you try to stop, it just gets worse. Next time you try to stop, it's more difficult. Next time you try to stop, it's more difficult. Next time you try to stop, it gets so difficult. You can't stop. You just can't. You're stuck. You're in prison. You try to stop. You can't live your life. You can't get out of bed. You can't eat. You can't sleep. You can't. And having 2 children, you know, like it's not an option not to be able to sleep or get up in the morning, or you can't spend your fucking days in pain when you have 2 children to take care of. So I just continued taking it, and all the while going through divorce, and because we were married, so I had to get a divorce from him, and I was left alone with my 2 children also upon this, with all the pain and all the viral infection with meningitis, you know, I never recovered, and he just dumped the children on me, and I was all alone with this. I mean, the pressure just started big. It just built up and built up and built up. It was so terrible that I all the while I felt like I'm dying, I'm losing everything, I'm dying, and I got also in the same time period in my hands. I couldn't use my hands. I was alone with my children with all of this pain, and my doctor she just took away my cortisone. So the arthritis just got worse because she had a bad conscience for leaving me on cortisone and just decided to, after pressure from her colleagues and blah, 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 she just decided to just take away the cortisone for me. Right in the middle of this. And so I couldn't, dress my children in the morning. I mean, the pain was so immense, and I have my mother, but she works full time. So, I had no one, really. Even if I have a family, my family's like, my mother's a narcissist, and my father's a narcissist, and they are alcoholics, and I have literally no one. So, all alone in this, the pain and the pressure and the shit just piles up on you, and I couldn't stop taking the opiates. It hardly gave me pain relief even, It just kept me well functioning. It didn't really do anything for the pain, You just get so tolerant, so you don't even it don't even work almost. You just have to take it to function. And so it just but yeah, and it's just so trying to live in all this, and at the same time trying to be there for my children in all this mess, and at the same time finding oneself in severe opiate addiction, that's illegal. It's just a matter of time before shit just hits the fan, trying to hold on to your children, knowing that the police, you're gonna lose them. You because the authorities don't understand. They think everyone that abuses is just doing it for fun. Being evil pieces of shit monsters, trying to just destroy their society. While the people who abuse is they're just in so much pain, They're in so much pain. So, I'm losing fucking juice here. The batteries are running out. But anyway, so I got into a program after much difficulty, but I had to actually from the time I sought help, I had to live on the streets for a year to prove my fucking addiction. It's so hard to get into these programs that you almost die trying. And it's not an understatement. It's so difficult to get into these programs that I had to spend a year proving my addiction, even though I searched and applied, crying, explaining my situation and everything, and how I got into the addiction, and the shit I was in. They just, no, you don't have anything in your papers, and we can't, there's no registry of your addiction here. You have to have like a year, registered addiction to get in. So they just sent me back on the streets with like 100,000 in debt already, you know. It's so expensive trying to try to keep this addiction going. So I was in such a shitty fucking state, you know, on my fucking knees, crying for help. I literally, when he, after I told my story, and he just said, no, you know, you have no overdoses, you have no contact with social, you know, the instances, the social, you know, with the authorities, you have no, you haven't been in prison, you have no overdoses in your papers, and we can't help you. And I was like, I was on my knees, I was crying, I begged for my children, you know. What are you saying? Are you saying that I have to go out, you know, overdosing and getting shit in the papers just to get help, you know? And he was like, yeah, I'm fucking sorry. Like, you're sorry. Oh, man. I was devastated. And I can't even get the pain through. I'm like, you know, it's so unreal. It's so fucking unreal, you know, people behave in this way that I can't even get the fucking pain through. But anyway, so a year, I had to spend a year in that misery, just continuing. And I lost my children. I lost everything. I mean, I even thought I'm gonna just overdose. Fuck it if I die. I don't care. But I didn't. I struggle, and I tried to, you know, manage the pain and like collateral damage. You know, war strategies. Like, how do I fuck things up, but try to stay, you know, fuck things up and stay on course at the same time. And it was, you know, you know, you can try to destroy things and try to stay on a fucking line where the fucking goes, but shit just blows. It just and with the I lost everything. And then I had to get on the papers. I had to get on the papers that I've been admitted to rehab. You know, so I went to we have instances here, psychiatry, where you can get a detox thing. You know, the healthcare for these kinds of things is just, it's non-existent. But so I went to detox for like 7 days. I got so it got so bad. I mean I had to get out of that place because it was insane. They had nothing to offer to like get you through the withdrawal or anything. It was just sheer pain, and I got so thin just in a couple of days that I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk, I couldn't take the pain, I couldn't, you know, the cramps, and you know, the body just, and you can't think, and you can't you're dying basically. So I had to, I got myself out of there. And well, at home I had to start taking the drugs again, you know, and so I did, and I tried to get back to life. Like I couldn't walk barely. for like 2 weeks after I was. The withdrawal is so heavy that you start taking the drugs again, but you know it doesn't. It takes like 2-3 weeks to get back on your feet, even while taking the drugs. And this is buprenorphine, so the withdrawals are. I mean, if you take heroin, you can like get off, and the withdrawal is difficult, but you just inhale or inject, and you're kind of fine. You're kind of fine. But this buprenorphine drug, it's painful, and it's long. The withdrawal is long, and the recovery is long. I mean, you start taking the drugs again, and it still takes like 2 weeks to get on your feet. So, and during that period, anyway, I had my awakening, because the pain was so severe. It was so severe that I just, well, you can liken it to having a bird on your shoulder just whispering, maybe there's something more, you know. And I felt this kind of Christ-like love. I didn't understand it at the time, but I understood it later. That it was the Christ love I felt. So I think it was Christ, you know, standing next to me, like there's something after this. There's something more to life, you know. So yeah, I had to get my children back. I had to fix everything somehow, and I did not know how. Like, you're so broken, and you're so deep into addiction, you know, that's just a prison. It's just shackles, you know. Like, how do I, and you know, your children, you just fucked everything up, and so how do I get my life back on track, you know? How do you get your life back on track after that? That's and I was like understanding this after what I understand now, that I was like spiritually like floating between life and death. I was so deadened. At the same time, this Christ consciousness came in, and I was trying to like, like I'm dying, I'm dead, you know. And at the same time, this consciousness is trying to, there's something more. Just keep fighting, and with no life force at all, it just. Yeah. But somehow then I just, you know, focused on my children, and I focused on the light, and I gotta get my life back. I have to get my life back somehow. And so I started to research spirituality and everything, and I had, you know, the universe started, the synchronicity started to just woofing. So I, you know, with YouTube and everything, and it was just videos after video, and question after question, and video after video, and like answers and questions, answers and questions, answers and questions. Like it was like the universe just go on, come on, you know, pushing. It's gonna get better. You're gonna get out. Just keep searching. And I was researching, and fuck the juices. I have to get out. I have to go check if I can. I need a battery source. Ja. Nej, det var inget. Jag behöver batteri. Okay, I think I have to make this into another video. I have to... I don't think... I don't have any juice here. Well, I guess we have to go with this Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.